he's going to be able to do a large chunk of damage to either Jack or Acorn. And you see Benji trying to open up the space, right? Really give Zayt an opening to be able to really do some heavy chunks of damage here. And it looks like Zayt's going to pounce. He's not going to wait any longer. He's going to really try to get in. And now you can see Zayt going to be a real pain in Jack's backside, right? And Benji just applying so much pressure, really putting Jack in a bad position. It's going to force Acorn now to really get into the fold of things.
Absolutely here. Zayt seems to get in on Acorn, but he's losing a lot of HP here. Zayt is only at around 20 HP, leaving Benjyfishy with full HP and shield. Gonna have to help him out here, but he managed to knock Acorn. Zayt with an absolute insane play, and Benjyfishy takes out Jack. And that's round 1 of the Rivalry 11. Zayt and Benjyfishy with the emotes, with the little in-game beef coming out on top. That's what I like to see.
There's only one lobby, guys. We're one lobby. You gotta make the most out of this lobby. And here we have an interesting engagement. I like this. We have Reverse 2K and Calc looking to take a fight with Bugha and Jamper. How will this play out?
But look at that. We also have another duo going into Salty here. Could be hearing the shots right now and might go for a little third party onto this engagement. But no duos, you know, engaging too hard here. Reverse is kind of doing a little rotate, doesn't want to take this battle, and gonna just keep going towards the zone, maybe farm up a bit more materials, and maybe
having, you know, teams just going for these crazy, you know, sniper refreshes, trying to deal with Storm Surge, right? I don't know if Calc has a sniper rifle, but Reverse and Calc definitely need one, right? Obviously, they did look like they wanted to take the engagement with Bugha and Jamper, but I probably think they heard the vehicle, right? Because obviously Joji was in the vehicle coming through Salty, and they probably heard the vehicle and thought, hey, if we take the fight now, we may get third party, then they could really brief our game. Let's try go towards zone and maybe take a fight edge zone there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He actually traded Surge there with Juriki and Trulex, right? 2 players over from EU. And under normal circumstances, right, you know, Cal could probably be happy with that, right? We got to trade Surge. I'm now fine on Surge for now. But obviously, you know, he can't be happy because his duo partner's down. And he's on very, very low HP.
Absolutely. And we can also see, you know, Bugha and Jampa just, you know, having a good time there. They're kind of close to this congestion, but due to their positioning, they should be able to make some pretty clean rotates depending on whether zone closes here around all this action. But I'm curious to see how their Storm Surge is going. They got into that little engagement with Macwood or Calc and Reverse 2K, sorry. And they probably got a bit of tags there, but they might need a bit more here. We also see, you know, Riverson and Edgy going for the full high ground on this hill. Great position. I assume they're getting a lot of tags just from having that. So there's, you know, a lot to go on here, a lot to look for while you're in these boxes. It's not just like the opens and semis, you know, where you're waiting for the next zone. You have to prepare yourself for the rotates, find the best angle to rotate from, make sure you're good on tags. There's a lot you have to be thinking about in these finals. And we also have a fan favorite here, and also one of the best players on NA's region, Clicks, playing with Day, getting into this action.
Yep, Clicks definitely a fan favorite. I'll tell you that much. It's a lot more difficult, I feel like, now, because more people are aware of it. Playing it in endgame is where we'll see a lot of people, you know, really shine with it, right? Obviously, if you pay attention to some of the players competing today, right, I don't know if they're still up, but Reet and I can't remember, blanking on the name now.
Wavy Jacob,
Wavy
yeah.
Jacob, right? They're being coached by Coach Timmy, and he's been doing a great job of helping them decide and how to rotate on those dead side pass to the zone. And so it'll be interesting to see whether they're going to be a team that's rotating hard dead, even though they aren't necessarily a team that you'd expect to do that kind of thing. Now Storm Surge thresholds start to expose some people here, because Fishy and Kaz, they're going to be struggling in terms of Surge. 60 below, does not have the heals to out-heal this. It looks like both these guys are going to go down. I don't see how they get out of this.
Yeah, I think they're waiting it out. I wasn't able to see how many players were alive, but it could be very close to the minimum amount of players required for Storm Surge to not be active. So they're maybe trying to wait it out, and there it is. It reached 50, but this is a stacked lobby 11. Zone closed close to where Bugha and his duo actually is. So they're gonna have the clean rotate, and look at that. Zayt and Benjyfishy already on an elevated position in the half and half zone. I'm very excited to see what they can pull off here in the late game.
Yeah, I think Zayt must have heard me through the broadcast, right? I said I want to see a team try set up to make an early hype play, right? Put themselves in a position where they might be able to hold it out from early. And Zayt doing so. I think this meta was just designed for Zayt. It seems like, you know, like this meta fits and suits his, you know, play style and his philosophy around the game perfectly. And so we'll see how he's able to capitalize today. Of course, though, he's sitting even higher than him, right? Canada and Macwood, who we spoke about in the pre-show, they are dubbed to be one of the better duos competing today. And so now, sitting in that elevated position, they're going to be able to wreak havoc on anyone really below them, trying to make their way into that 50-50 zone, as things do start to close on now.
Absolutely. This is where it gets very stressful, very intense. The players here have already done damage because Storm Surge has, you know, popped. It's been done. Now in the moving circles, Storm Surge is likely to, you know, come back and attack these players that haven't continued doing damage, but Zayt and Benji are already positioned up top on the high ground. And like we've discussed before, having it in this meta when there's no shockwave impulses to take them down, but if I'm not confused, are they on one wood wall? There's no way, right? They have to be connected by more. But without shockwave impulses and only bouncers and chilies here for mobility, if they're aware and they make sure that nobody, you know, gets close to them, don't get, you know, shot at by rocket launchers, they could be able to hold this height for a majority of this late game.
Well, a lot of it's going to be down to whether the Hydra 16 team is still in play, right? Of course, anybody who is aware, right, there's the Hydra spot near Slurpee, right? You can get an RPG from that, right? And that team that gets the RPG has a great opportunity of playing high, right? Or being able to grief the team that has high ground. Of course, you see now Benji and Zayt going to use that bounce up to move on closer towards that zone and continue to control high ground here. And bounces are going to be so important for them to be able to keep height and conserve the materials as best as possible. We've seen this time and time again where teams just are able to condition the rest of the lobby to stay down and still save so many mats while doing so. But beyond what's going on the high ground, there is absolute carnage going down below, right? So many players going down at this stage in the game. We're seeing Storm Surge forcing these teams to take engagements, take fights, and now all of these top tier players are having to really force themselves into uncomfortable positions.
Absolutely. We saw Clicks, even though he's very mechanical and normally gets into these engagements early, he's below Storm Surge, so he was taking some fights that might not have been the best idea there, but he has to do it. We can see Clicks trying to get into a box, see if he can land a shot while he's getting ticked by Storm Surge, but he goes down to Saf, Zayt's rival currently in this tournament. But Benjyfishy and Zayt are still managing to just hold on to this high ground with more than enough materials. They're getting a little contested, but they're doing a great job, and there's just so much action down below.
Yeah, and even as we spoke, right, the caster's curse comes into play because Saf does in turn go down, and even with all that happening, right, you can see here the calm through the storm. Benji and Zayt still staying up on that high ground, going to be able to do so much carnage, just use all the AI ammo they have to just really force all these teams down below. They're not worried about someone taking height. They're just worried about how many more eliminations they can pick up in this game.
Absolutely, and eliminations are very important in Dreamhack. It's 5 points per elimination. The Victory Royale, getting that top one, is 6 points alongside all the previous placements. So you've got to play for elims here, and that's exactly what Benji's doing. Dropping down, looking for angles with his shotgun, trying to get as many elims as possible. And I believe Zayt is staying also actually below Benji, so they're just dropping down here looking for elims, Levin.
Yeah, now you can see here, Benji, we've known him to be able to do this since World Cup days when he has control of height, dropping down, being able to find eliminations, and he picks up one already. Slacks gets knocked, and he's got his eyes set on Zoki. He's going to try force a box fight engagement with him, and look, even with the ping disadvantage, he still is able to do such crushing damage. He's squeezing out the rest of the lobby. It's like he's juicing a grapefruit. I don't know how he does it every single time. He's so effective in these situations, but now we have to focus on what's going on low ground because we see Avery here, who's almost going to lose Creo. Him and Creo are split up, and now he's going to try to dominate the low ground, it seems.
And it looks like Illest actually tries contesting Benji and Zayt, but gets eliminated almost instantly. This elite duo is not going to let that happen. Now, Zayt and Benji both alive here. I believe they're against a duo and a solo on low ground. Nope, it's a 2v2 situation here. Levin, will Benjyfishy and Zayt be able to come out on top in this first match?
Zayt's got really low HP, and so there's no odds of there being any sort of a heal off, so they just drop down and take an all-out engagement, an all-out fight. Benji now has lost Zayt. He gets the Siphon health, and so in a 1v1 situation, him versus Creo, EU versus NA on the grand stage, Benjyfishy comes out on top and takes the first game.
100 points, one game in 9 eliminations. Incredible performance out of game number 1 there. We got Creo and Avery in second place with 89 points, only 11-point difference. In third, it's Slacks and Illis. Riverson and Edgy are going to be holding out in fourth place, and then Canada and Macwood will be in fifth.